Welcome back to Krown's Goggles Caves as we get ready for a little bit of laser eye activity going on into the new month, of which day is the last day of October. So happy Halloween, happy end of October, happy just regular Sunday if none of that means anything to you. Anyways, with that in mind, I do want to wish you the best and the haps before we get into this one, because it might be, well, I think we can make this one manageable. Anyways, with that said, yeah, to address the glasses, my eyes, my fucking eyes, they got laser surgery the other day, so still kind of recovering from that. It's all good though. It's actually went quite well, at least I think so. And I can see again, just need a little bit of protection for the bright lights today. Anyways, with that in mind, let's start off with Krown application over here, which we found at app.cringy.net. And what do we see? We do see that Bitcoin dominance still kind of hovering around that 43% mark, of which I do expect that over this next month, we very likely do see that bolster back on up. Anyways, other than that, do we see anything that's of particular interest right here? Yeah, Decentraland just went 136 and some odd change percent to the upside in the last 24 hours. Not bad. And we got a bunch of altcoins actually in the winners list today. Sandbox, Horizon, Chili's, like 40% or more on all of those. That is just insanity right there. Oh, well, you might just call this the time to be looking at alts as well. Anyways, I think we'll skip the data tab for today. I do want to make this one, like I said, a little bit more on the relatable side. So we're going to start off here with a little bit of short-term time frame analysis. Obviously, yesterday I put out a shorts video just talking about basically, hey, I'm looking for a range, and that's all we've gotten so far. So fair enough. What's the range right now? 62,300 to the upside versus about 61 even to the downside. That's 61,000 bucks, I should say. If you want to be super exact, maybe 61,100. Overall, though, as Bitcoin does actually once again suggest that it might want to test a little bit of downside right here, I don't necessarily look at these as too actionable over the weekend. That's just my personal philosophy, as I don't like my edge over the weekend. However, if we do start to break below about 61,000 bucks, then yep, I would be looking for a run somewhere around our 29th of October lows at about 60,500 it looks like, to 60,500 all the way down to maybe 6,200 or so. That's the big one for me. However, because if Bitcoin does start to take out this area to the downside, especially on even a 4-hour closure, that will change the short term, or well, actually in this case it would initiate a continuation of a bit of a short-term downtrend actually, and imply targets back down to our prior base from 20th of October, somewhere around about 58 to 58,500 or so. At that point, you know, probably does bounce again somewhere around there, and then I'd want to come back after that to see it before I judge any further continuation targets, of which probably would be like 55 or 56,000 bucks for it to happen. Anyways, before all of that, I do want to be on the record as saying that CME had a pretty damn good closure for Friday, and that's going to represent both the weekly and most of the monthly as well, though there will be 1 hour of trading today. So who knows what can happen between now and between now and then. However, things for right now do look good, and we'll discuss that soon enough. Anyway, short-term time frames to the upside, very, very simple here. Obviously back above about 62,300, of which we got a rejection right before yesterday's shorts video, and then it looks like right after it as well. Then I would be looking for Bitcoin to make another move back up, just very simply put, back around your 25th of October highs at about 63,600 or 63,800 or so. That looked really, really good for pretty much all time frames, as right now, of course, the big news of Thursday and Friday was that Bitcoin did set in what appears to be a higher low right here. So if we do start to take back out the $63,000 level, or 600, then I would be looking for just general sideways and upside continuation. I'm sure a lot of people are calling this an inverted head and shoulders right now. Perhaps it is, perhaps it isn't. Not a formation that I really give too much of a fuck about, actually. But there is something that I certainly give a lot of fucks about right now, and that is BBWP on both the daily and full hour. On the daily, you can see that we are down around just about single-digit percentiles. Now, I still want to see this like get above the moving average and maintain there. But, you know, with that in mind, we did see the BBWP essentially cool off throughout the last about week or so in this little consolidation right here. So contraction phase into a higher low does imply continuation of trend, just, you know, more or less good things overall. And then we even see the daily jewel kind of coming into a little bit of a bouncy-ish zone, although it's not necessarily there just yet. And of course, on the 4 hour, we already did kind of see this over here, but I didn't necessarily talk about it. We do see that 4 hour BBWP is, you know, pretty much at the lowest level that we have seen since actually about a month ago, at just above 3 percentile right now. So very likely looking for a move probably later in the day today, so maybe sometime around the monthly closure. I do suppose that there's going to be a lot of posturing to essentially take advantage of that. So until then, you know, just a bit of range plays in the way that I look at them. I don't really have a natural proclivity towards either which side of the range. as I don't trust really indicators over the weekend, to be honest with you. Anyways, let's get into the more fun stuff over here. Or was it fun stuff over here? No, not over there, over here. Yes. Okay, so Bitcoin CME did obviously already close the weekly out, and this was a pretty damn good weekly closure right here, essentially closing back above, it looks like $63,000. Which is essentially new all-time highs, new all-time high closing prices for Bitcoin CME. Well, new all-time highs. So that, I was going to say before ever, but yes, before ever. Actually, it is the highest of the high. And more importantly, right now we do have, of course, October closure coming in. Which there will be, like I said, about 1 hour of trading today. I don't expect too much is going to happen, but we should talk about this, obviously. I mean, you know, there could be some counterpoints to this, of course, but for right now, things are looking really, 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 really good. If Bitcoin were to close even just above $60,000, then we will have new all-time monthly closing highs, more importantly, and this is going to look like volatility expansion is going to come with, well, in this case, trend continuation. But not only that, we also have the bi-monthly as well right here, and the bi-monthly is going to have a chance to close above the topside Toronto band here too, not just on CME, but also, of course, on spot price action, which is a little bit more, you know, well documented right here, obviously. And any sort of a closure above 56,500 will do it. So that is looking really, 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 really good, and would essentially make me massively bullish towards majorly new all-time highs coming into end of year here. Of course, there's going to be ebbs and flows within this market, but I would suggest that any sort of a move back down below $60,000 is likely going to be an opportunity if that even happens to begin with. Although, I mean, wouldn't really be asking for too much, just like $1,200 away from where we're at right now, obviously. But do keep in mind that CME did close out Friday. $63,000. We're probably going to end somewhere around 62 on spot price action, accounting for the premium right there. Anyways, so with that in mind, I do want to go over one more thing over here. Where is it? We'll get into some even more fun stuff. Yeah, I do want to bring up momentum oscillators just for a second. Where are they? There, I found it, my care pack, and let's go to the monthly right here. Obviously on CME and spot price action, we're going to see monthly Stokes actually turn back onto the upside. So again, trend, volatility, and momentum all turning in the same direction, assuming that we do close, well, at least above $47,000 on spot price action in the next 15 hours, 47 minutes, and 47 seconds. Could happen, I suppose. And also the monthly on CME is actually even a little bit lower than that at $46,000. So looking really, 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 really good right there. Other higher term timeframes are more or less, well, actually rather interesting right here. Daily Stokes on CME will actually turn back above 63,550. That look really, really good for just a general, you know, float back onto the prior time highs. And then spot price action has the same condition at 62,680. Okay, cool. All right, so we got through that. Let's get into, oh yes, and we need to get into this chart as well. The accumulation distribution indicator. So we did see it take a negative slope coming into July, or sorry, this little dump off right here in September, of course. It's actually maintained a somewhat negative slope since then, although it has loosened on its curvature. Now, what I really want to see, and what would make me just, I guess, even more bullish, although I think that this one's more of a formality because it actually hasn't been operating too well right here, although it was a really good kind of indication of, like, you know, caution, I suppose. Is I want to see it either flat, get a flat next read, or even better would be a positive slope, of course. If one of those two things happens, that is going to look extremely fucking good. Okay, cool. All right, we are eight and a half minutes into this. Wow. All right, I actually am making this rather short. Nice. All right, cool. Anyways, it's probably good for me because I probably should stay a little bit more off the screens today. But I do want to bring up one other thing. So I'm going to give credit to my man KVDB in the or Mr. Kevin, as I know him, in the Discord. He's a great guy, and he's actually come up with a nice little RSI indicator over here. A couple things of interest right here. We can actually forecast what sort of RSI reads would produce what sort of price action. And so when the topic of you know, where could Bitcoin's all-time high come in at the end of this cycle, we could actually potentially do something of interest right here. So you'll notice on the weekly that pretty much all Bitcoin all-time highs have come in between these two green lines right here. That means a minimum of about 90 read on the RSI, on the weekly RSI, that is, and a maximum, well, I mean, obviously we've seen higher than like 94.5, but, well, I'd say on average probably about 96 it looks like, although one time in Bitcoin's history did get all the way up to 99.5. That's the amount of times that I've seen a 99 plus read on a weekly RSI on any asset is I could probably count them on my hands because it's very, very minimum. Like it really doesn't happen that much. But Bitcoin does seem to kind of like this area right here, basically around like 95, 96. So what we can do now is if we are going to potentially run with that assumption here, which by the way, Bitcoin is just freshly breaking back into the bullish control zone for the first time since, hey, that's July, August of last year. And all bull markets have essentially started by breaking back into that region at about 65 on the RSI. Well, let's run with the assumption that Bitcoin by end of cycle will be somewhere between 90 and let's just say, I wouldn't even say 97 because that's way too high. Let's just say 96, which is still too high anyways, but let's just see. So what if we were to pull up an RSI read of 90 by end of cycle? What sort of price would that imply? $170,000. Not bad. not fucking bad, huh? What if we were to take the more aggressive of those reads at 96? Well, let's just play with it over here. Boom. And where does that put Bitcoin? Just under $400,000. Both are ridiculous numbers to me because I mean I feel like we're already on the moon. But let's play. Should we play around with numbers? Let's play around with some fucking numbers. How about that? Let's go over here. Or do I want to do this chart? No, you know what? Fuck it. We're not going to do that chart. Let's do this one right here. Actually, we can just use this one. This is fun. This is fine. Do we want to get rid of the? Yeah, let's get rid of all these. We don't need these. We don't need them. We don't fucking need them. All right, so let's pull up a fib extension on all these cycles and see where they've kind of netted us over time. I'm gonna do this on closing bases, and we can get the first one right there. And actually get even the first one right there, which is tops out of the 2 spot 618, by the way. You'll notice that this one tops out at 2 spot 618 as well, if I actually do it properly. Go, okay. Actually, I'm very OCD about this kind of shit, but here's the 2 spot 618 from the first one, getting the $20, what was the all-time high at that point, out of this macro base right here. Then of course we got this one from 2011 being resolved in 2013, and then your 2 spot 618 extension essentially marking off your December 2014 high. And then we have this one right here, obviously. And let me actually get it on the closers right there. There we go. And what do you know? The 2016 base being built over here does essentially result in the 2018 high at the 2 spot 618 Fibonacci extension at around 20,300 or so. All right, so let's do it one more time. See what the 2618 would spit out over here, just out of curiosity. Well, we're currently at the 1 spot 618, which is rather interesting. Did base off the 1 spot 272, which by the way, all of them have intra cycle. Very fucking interesting. You know, right here and right here. Boom. And of course, the one before. Well, actually, the one before that's not going to have a base, obviously. But anyways, where would the 2618 put us? Actually, at around $400,000. So. Look, how much do I trust this shit? I don't know. Maybe I make a stupid YouTube title based off of it, just for some funsies action over there. Understand that, you know, if I'm giving my legitimate opinion on it, yeah, I think that Bitcoin can very likely get to $100,000 this cycle. I think, you know, 111 to 135, I think it was, that I'm kind of forecasting right now is like my major area. But long term, if things get really crazy, I don't know, maybe the rest of the world adopts Bitcoin as a currency. Who knows what the fuck happens? Perhaps one of those more ridiculous, but I suppose historically relevant targets does get hit. Just saying, because right now, that actually would kind of be in line with the more aggressive of those RSI reads. And yes, we actually have seen even higher than that. So fair enough. You know, maybe that is relevant. I mean, let's play around with the numbers here again, right? So gold, right? Gold has a market cap of like 10 or 11 trillion, I think, or at least it was around there when it was around about $2,000 or so. And Bitcoin's kind of like digital gold, right? And Bitcoin has a market cap of, I believe, somewhere around about $1 trillion. Correct me if I'm wrong right now. I should probably look this up, but you go look it up right now. Market cap. No, I'm not on screen right now, but who knows what my Google search history is going to bring up. So yeah, just over 1 trillion right now. Okay. So let's say that Bitcoin just essentially, you know, does the function of gold, which right now gold, I mean, isn't even being used by any countries that I know of, or at least maybe some do use it, but you know, it's certainly very much out of favor. So what if Bitcoin essentially just replaced gold as as an irrelevant metal object, or mostly irrelevant. I understand that it is used for a few things. Yes. Okay. I get that. It's also used for like teeth and shit like that as well. But you know, let's just, you know, 10x the price. All right, that's $600,000. Well, that's nice. Obviously, a very crude calculation that's not gonna be too accurate or too relevant, but you know, just kind of like back of the napkin math right there. You know, that doesn't necessarily sound all that crazy when you start to put it in those terms, which personally speaking, and of course, you know, you're free to agree with this or disagree with this, and obviously let me know in the comment section, because it'd actually be an interesting conversation. But you know, Bitcoin to me seems to make a lot more sense than gold. I mean, everything seems to be getting digitized, so why not digitize, you know, what would be traditionally thought of your store as value? And well, Bitcoin would kind of make more sense as a store of value to me than gold, especially in a digital age that we're kind of trending towards. Right? I mean, it's no secret that everything's getting, like, technology does not go backwards, right? So it'd make more sense to me that that Bitcoin would be kind of like the answer, as it's, you know, it just offers up more certainty with the way that it's calculated in comparison to gold, which you don't know, like, are we going to find some more gold or not? I don't know. There's no way to fucking know that, right? Well, until we live in the future, right? Anyways, we're 16 minutes into this video. I don't want to make this one too long, obviously. I think that's going to be it for right now. Again, short-term time frames, just range right here. It's not anything too interesting over the weekend. Oh, what do you fucking know? Just wick down, wick up. It's like sell any wick below, sell any wick above and buy any wick below. This is not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, but those have been the scalps traditionally over the weekend. So I do think that we are setting up for very likely a good November. I'd like to see the monthly closure, obviously, and the bi-monthly closure by extension as well. But for right now, things are shaping up to be, you know, somewhat good. And I think that's a good place for me to shut off this video. Perhaps we provide some sort of an invalidation condition. I mean, we already spoke about the short-term timeframes. Where the high-term timeframes start to look like shit. Not really helpful here. I'm gonna say $50,000, but that's not really helpful. That would be it on a weekly for me, though. Hey, by the way, weekly Jewel just got another signal actually coming out this week. Not bad. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna be signing off now. Take care. I'll be back on with some live stream analysis tomorrow. Hopefully this one serves you well. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.